fire grate is right there. I would guess that's the trail to the latrine. I can set up my tent over here. Don't think I'm going to bother with a tarp tonight. Not supposed to rain tonight. If I really wanted to, and I just might, I could always set up the tent here. Oh, gorgeous view. I love the looks of this lake. I could be convinced to base camp here for a week instead of doing the loop I was talking about. Definitely going to want to get out and explore this lake a little bit later on this evening. For now, I gotta get the boat unloaded. There's the boat down there. So you can see there's a bit of a hill to get everything up from down there. So I guess I better get started. Alright, here we are down at the landing. I took everything out of the canoe now, and I'm going to start taking it up the hill. There's the hill. There's a nice little parking space for the canoe right there. So yeah, got a few islands right offshore here. There's a stream coming in to the lake over to my left. It looks like if I'm going to see any moose, that would be the place to see them. And actually this lake has a lot of those kind of areas. So like I said, I'm going to have fun here. Work on getting these boots off and see about having some lunch. Ordinarily I would set up camp first and then have lunch, but I'm so positive that it's not going to rain today that I'm going to ignore my own advice, and I'm going to go ahead and relax, take my boots off, have some lunch, just kind of kick back, worry about getting camp set up later on. I think I'm only going to get the tent set up tonight. I'm not going to bother with the tarp. Again, there was nothing in the forecast for today at all. A little bit later in the week I'm going to have to start worrying it. But this would be a good time to start telling you about some of my equipment. Some of how I camp. I spread most of this out over all the videos just so that nobody gets bored just watching me talk about equipment. But anyway, these boots I got, I was debating before I came in whether to wear these. These are special Chota mucklucks that they made specially for Cabela's, for hoping to catch on with the hunting crowd apparently. Unfortunately, they didn't. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your point of view, they didn't catch on very well. So Cabela's started selling them off like crazy. I got my first pair for $50, which they started out somewhere around 100, and I thought it was a good deal at 50. Well, then I got a second pair a few weeks later for about $15, and I'm now on my second pair of boots. This was a number of years ago, and I knew they wouldn't last forever, so that's why I bought two pairs, so that when one wore out I could start wearing the others. I started wearing these a couple of years ago. I was really debating today whether to wear these, because when it's warm warm, they have a tendency to get pretty warm. Or the other option is when it's summertime, I have a pair of synthetic 3/4 hikers that I wear, and I just, put them, I step right into the water, they fill up with water, and during the summer that's no problem. I thought this time of year the water might be a little bit cooler. I know towards the end of the trip it's supposed to cool down too, and I just wasn't sure if I'd be able to handle having wet and cold feet when I was in and out of the canoe and everything. So decided that I'd err on the side of warmth, and I brought the chodas. They were pretty warm today, but not too bad, but it sure is nice to get them off. This here is a port bag that I got from, it's a Cook Custom Sewing port bag I got a number of years ago. It has an attached map case. As you hopefully saw as I did some of the shots in the canoe, I have this it's hanging over the fort in such a way that I can see the map, at least when Sam's not in the way. I attach my water bottles to it so the water is handy all the time. This is my kitchen pack. It's also a Cook Custom Sewing product. It's a, they call it the rucksack, I believe. And basically all my kitchen stuff goes in here. My stove, my cooking gear, all my food, which I'll go into a little bit later, what my food consists of, my eating utensils, those type of things. I keep all my food in a bear barrel. In this case, it's a counter assault bear keg. This thing is certified to be grizzly proof, so any black bears that we get around here are not going to be able to get into this. It's a little bit heavy. I can carry almost all the food I need for a week in here, and when I talk about food later on, I'll tell you about what I can't put in here and what I do with it instead. But anyway, this, I know my food is safe. I just put it away from my campsite at night so that if it does attract a bear, the bear isn't coming into camp. But I know that even if the bear is attracted to it, they're not going to get into it. Now, to the subject at hand, which is lunch. I'm going to get my lunch out of here. There are 3 screw cams on the top of this barrel that have to be undone. I just usually use the file with my Leatherman to turn them. I can turn them with my fingernails if I'm very careful. If I have a coin along, which I usually don't, that could be used as well. Keep the knife handy because I'll need it in a minute. Lunch consists of a tortilla. I usually get the multi-grain tortillas, a couple of slices of cheese, and some summer sausage. So I'll put that together, and I'll put you on pause while I do that. Hey Sam. And there you have it. Multi-grain tortilla, extra sharp cheddar, and summer sausage. And you roll it up and you eat it. And that's good. Yum. Okay. Lunch is done. Time to get camp set up. Time to get the tent set up. So, get to work. Setting up camp sure is hard work. bring a bucket along to gather water in. It just makes things easier, and especially at a site like this where it's hard to get good clean water. Where we landed was all weedy. I couldn't get water there. And here it's just too steep to go down the hill with trying to get water, so using the bucket with a rope means I don't have to play Jack and Jill. And once I get the water to camp, I can fill my pot with it to cook with, and I can also filter straight out of it, and it's a lot more comfortable sitting on a log or sitting in my chair filtering water than trying to sit at the water's edge and balance precariously while I'm pumping. And of course Sam thinks it's a great water bowl too. Okay, got water on the boil. One thing about my food, I said I'd be talking about food eventually, and now's the time. With my food, a lot of people come out here in the wilderness and they basically live to eat. They love making all these fancy meals, or maybe not even all that fancy, but they take some preparation before the trip, and they take some time when they're out here too. Well, when I'm out here, I eat to live. So I like fast, I like simple. I don't like mucking around much at home beforehand, and I don't like mucking around much, definitely don't like mucking around much out here to fix a meal. There goes Sammy in the water bowl. And of course, one of the problems, being a photographer, the best time for taking pictures is a couple hours after, or within a couple hours of sunrise, and within a couple hours of sunset. And those are, normal breakfast and supper time. So rather than spending a lot of time on meals, I'd rather spend my time taking pictures. So, quick and easy is my motto when it comes to eating. For breakfast, I have instant oatmeal almost every day. In fact, this trip I'll have it every day. For supper, I have freeze-dried meals. I usually go with Mountain House. And I found that despite what a lot of people say about freeze-dried meals, they're actually pretty tasty. And I get them online from a place called LDP, that's Larry Dog Peter, Camping Foods, all one word, .com. It's a place located in Louisiana, of all places, and it's just a good place. They have real good prices, and they have a rolling 365-day discount plan that the more you buy, the more higher of a discount you get, so it makes it even less expensive. Like I said, I get the Mountain House. I love these little Pro Packs, which are supposed to be for one person. They're actually more than half of a two-person meal, so they really do feed one person very well. My favorite is the beef stroganoff, which I'm going to have tonight. I usually have that on my first night of the trip. Very rich and creamy, tasty, and again, very easy to fix. I just have to have boiling water. I add 1 3/4 cups to the pouch, stir it thoroughly, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and I'm done. I'm ready to eat. Now the people that have problems with these make one of 3 mistakes, or maybe one or more of 3 mistakes. One thing is you need to have the right amount of water on these. If you get too much, they get soupy. If you don't have enough, then not everything gets wet, and so it gets crunchy. The second thing is it's got to be boiling water. It can't be water that's boiled 5 minutes ago. It's got to be boiling at the time that you put it in the pouch. If it's not hot, it's not going to rehydrate everything properly. And the third thing is people get kind of anxious, they're hungry, whatever. They don't wait the full time for the meal to cook. If you do one of those things, 3 things wrong, then yes, you're going to end up with crunchy parts, and it's not going to be very good. But if you do everything according to the instructions, then everything turns out very, very good. So anyway, I'm going to wait here for my water to boil. I'll do a few other things while that's happening. Of course, one of the things is to open the package and get it ready to go. The other thing is to get my measuring cup out and my spoon, so as soon as my water is boiling, I can add the appropriate water and get it stirred well. Oh, and don't forget to take out the little oxygen absorber package. Oh, and the other thing is after I'm done eating, it's real easy cleanup. All I've used that's gotten dirty is the spoon and the packet itself. I usually take excess hot water, a little bit of soap, rinse the packet out, throw it in my food barrel, and as long as it's got these Ziploc tops, so I seal that up. No smell, stays in my food barrel, and until I'm done with the trip. Very quick and easy cleanup, and very easy put away. Speaking of food barrels, this is what mine looks like outside of the pack. Like I said, I can fit a week's worth of food in here. The only thing I can't fit in here, at least for the first few days, are the freeze-dried meals. But of course they're sealed up real nice and tight. No smell associated with them, so I just carry them in a dry sack, and I put that out in the woods along with the food barrel. Haven't had any problems yet with a bear getting my food. This is my 58th trip out here. Of course, I haven't been doing this for 58 trips, but I've been doing it for a fair number of trips. Was camped on Polly Lake a few years back when the Polly Lake bear was raiding campsites, and we never had a problem. Got all my other food goes in here. My breakfast, my lunches, snacks, Sam's dog food, everything for a week fits in that barrel there. While my supper water is boiling, I'll filter a little bit of drinking water using my Pure Hiker. I've had this for a number of years since I bought this. Katydon now makes this filter instead of Pure, but I've had it, like I said, for several years. I can't remember how many. Changed the filter element a couple of times in it, maybe 3 or 4 times. been a real good filter for me. And I do, when I'm on these trips, I do make one little addition. I take a coffee filter and I put it over the pre-filter acorn, because there's an algae or something up in the water up here that while it's not harmful, it will clog up a filter pretty easily, so they recommend that you do something like this. It's saved me a lot of time. You can also back flush. If you do end up with a clogged filter, you can back flush it, but I haven't had to do that ever since I started using the coffee filters. Now I have my water bottle around here somewhere. But yeah, while the water's boiling, I can sit in my chair here. All the comfort of home. Filter my water instead of having to try to balance on the rocks at the edge of the lake to do this. All my hoses all untangled here. Now, a lot of people will drink straight out of the lake. They usually go out into the middle of the lake and get their water there rather than filtering. But it's just a whole heck of a lot safer just to filter, and it's easy to do, just to filter all your drinking water. Cooking water, of course, you can take straight out of the lake because you're going to boil it anyway, and that'll kill anything that might be on there. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, the lakes in this area are pretty shallow and pretty weedy, and so it's even more imperative that you filter your water rather than try to dip it straight out of the lake. Take your chances that way. Two main pathogens that you have up here are Giardia and Cryptosporidium. The interesting thing about both of those is that they'll wait about a week or so before you actually get the symptoms if you get them. But the symptoms are horrible cramps, nasty diarrhea, and it's one of those things that it's just so nasty to get, but why wouldn't you take a little bit of extra time? I mean, I filled that bottle just then, as you were watching. So why wouldn't you take the time to do that, to protect yourself and keep you from getting this nasty thing that you could get? Again, granted, the chances of getting it are pretty slim. There are some people that are actually immune to it, so you're not going to even, they could get it and not even know it. But again, why take the chance? Why risk it when it's so easy to prevent it in the first place? After you're done pumping, then you do want to pump all the excess water out of the system, and then you're good to go for the next time. And what I usually do is I wrap the outflow hose around first, then the input, and making sure that the acorn doesn't touch anything else. Clamp it all down. Put it back in the bag with the acorn on the outside. like so. Then you just let it sit in the sun and dry. Just after I finished recording that last segment, I discovered that my battery was low. So I've switched over to my SLR now, which I'm not going to be able to take video with for very long because I don't want to deplete the batteries in it, because I have other plans for it this week that it's going to be draining enough on the battery as it is. Anyway, I'm now eating my stroganoff, enjoying it. Yum yum. It's getting a little bit later than I intended it to be. I'm hoping I can still get out on the water real quick after I've eaten and cleaned up. I do essentially have 6 batteries for the video camera for a 7-day trip. The fact that I ran out of one battery on one day is not good. I'm just hoping some of the others will last a little bit longer. There's one that I know of that probably won't even last a day, so I am probably going to have to cut back on the amount of video I do and try to intersperse more pictures. But anyway, I'm going to have to finish off today with pictures rather than much in the way of video. Of course, the other problem with my SLR is I can't wear it like I can with the point and shoot Olympus TG3. So that's pretty much it for video for today. I will hopefully get some more pictures that I'll share with you before ending the day.